to learn these 7 powerful money lessons. And I don't want it to take you that long to learn. So let me tell you about the day that changed my relationship with money. At 40, I was working in the oil industry. I was earning very decent salary, having all the perks. I had a very strong career. I traveled around the world, with my family. Life was good. But each month, I felt more broke and down financially than ever. So something happened one day that changed my relationship with money. I was earning all this money, but at the end of the month, I was poor. I couldn't tell where all that money had gone. And I do remember because in 2005, I was still working with Chevron. It was in 2006 that I moved back to Shell. I still remember Chevron creating an app, which was basically, as I think about it right now, some Oracle interface that queried the HR data, including, everything we've been paid since you joined the company. At that time, internet, there was no AI then, so internet wasn't what it really was. So it was an intranet app that you could log in with your employee ID, and then the system will show you all that you have earned since the company employed you. All the salaries, all the bonuses, all the times I traveled for business to the United States, to Houston, and also San Ramon, California at the time. Chevron has a massive office there. So every time I traveled and all the things I earned when I went to Escravos is Chevron's offshore. All that, they calculated it. When I saw the amount, people in Nigeria would say, I fainted. I said, no, it's not true. Because first of all, I saw the amount of money that had gone through my hand since I joined that company. It was shocking and massive. And believe me, you will have exactly the same experience. If you sit down one day and try to figure out the amount of money that has gone through your hand. For some of you in America, you'll be shocked. $500,000, $1 million, $2 million have passed through your hand in the past 40, 50 years, or since you started working. And then you look back, you don't see where did this money go. So that was where I was. So one morning, my poor wife, my dear wife, I really stressed her out. And it was always looking like I knew what I was doing. She always wanted to speak to me about the way we managed money. But for some reason, I just wasn't listening to her about money. And I think it happens to men a lot. Because I tend to think that women are better at managing money in a couple relationship than most men. Of course, I know that many women are wasteful. But my wife was so calm, wise, looking back. Each time she tried to catch my attention, I felt, no, you don't know about money better than I do. And I remember in those days, whenever there was something, maybe some union negotiation with Shell, and then they said, okay, they were going to pay us some kind of money. Or maybe the company hints, Chevron hints that there's going to be profit sharing. I'll come back, I'll tell my wife, oh, we're expecting so millions. And we're going to buy this, we're going to buy this, we're going to buy this. And the woman will say, quietly, as always, let us not spend money that we have not seen. You have not gotten this money. Don't spend money that you have not seen. Such wisdom. But I was really financially stupid. I really was. At 40. That's why I learned these 7 powerful lessons. Like I said, it was literally like an angel taught me those 7 pillars. And I tell you, my life was never the same again. And I'm going to tell you those 7 pillars. Stick behind. Tonight might be that night, or today, wherever you're watching from, might actually be that day that will set you free the way it did me. So she woke me up one morning at about 3 a.m. My wife tapped me and woke me up. And then for you guys who are married, if your wife wakes you up in the middle of the night, taps you in the middle of, there's no man that happens to that doesn't shake. Especially when you have the kind of wife I have. She's quiet, she's wise, and she's beautiful. So when a wife like that taps you on the shoulder and says, sweetheart, wake up, you're a man. No matter all your bravado or whatever, you shake when a woman wakes you up in the middle of the night. I'm telling you, women, I'm just giving you people's secret. So have mercy on us a little bit. We might pretend like, we have it together. But when a woman wakes you up, your wife wakes you up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning and say that's a terrifying experience for a man. So I was terrified because she had never done that before. So she said to me, sweetheart, do you know that if we have an emergency right now, that we did not have 1,000 naira saved anywhere that we could run to? 1,000 naira at that time was probably like $100 or 100 and something dollars. Somebody can check the exchange rate in 2000 and this thing happened around 2004. She said, do you know that if we run into emergency right now, if not that Chevron was paying for our health, all kinds of insurances, Chevron was paying for everything. So it made me like really, really financially lazy. I wasn't thinking about the future. When she said, I was crazy because I thought about it. Because I remember how we used to struggle. I used to struggle for her to fuel her car and do the school run. And this was a Chevron staff earning like the top 0.1% in the country. That was when it began to dawn on me that wealth is not salary. And wealth is not income. Wealth is not even saving. Wealth is not about how much you earn. Wealth is about how you manage what you earn, how you multiply that. It's about what's left after you have eaten, done your rent or something, and then how you multiply that. Wealth really has zero to do with salary. I'm telling you, you're saving. You can never become financially free saving. Because it's not only that inflation is wasting that money, cost of living also keeps going up. What you bought, what you could afford for $100, even 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you have to pay like $130, $150 to buy the same thing today. But I said that if you're going to be wealthy and financially free, especially if you're doing 9 to 5 currently, you have to weaponize your spending. You spend and grow rich. You don't spend and grow poor. And that's a difference. So spend to grow rich. Don't spend to grow poor. Because a lot of people, like I could say that 90% of people spend to grow poor instead of spend to grow rich. So throughout that day, I was never the same, thinking about what my wife said, because she was very, very correct. So it had nothing to do with income and everything. It had everything to do with my ignorance about money. It had everything to do with my mindset, and it also had everything to do with lack of structure. I keep saying that the albatross for people over 40 who are still struggling with money is because they don't have systems. And until you create a system, if you're 50 and you don't have a system that consistently brings in money, manages it, budgeting, allocating it, invests it very, very wisely. You don't have a system to be able to do that automatically, and then also a system to plan your legacy. Man, I'm telling you, you're heading for disaster. This is not about prayer. So it's ignorance, mindset, lack of structure. These were the problem that I had in my 40s. Can you imagine someone in my mid-40s? I was a financial illiterate. But I was doing my best, because when I woke up, coupled with what my wife did that day, I started searching. That's how I came by the 3 root causes of financial struggle, the 3 root causes of poverty anywhere in the world, there are only 3 root causes. You, as I'm talking to you right now, if you're struggling with money, there are only 1 or 3 or a combination of these 3 root causes. Would you like me to tell you what they are? Okay, so this is a good time to see who is in the room, and then where you are joining from. Yeah, just say who you are and where you are joining us from. What country are you watching from tonight? And then Olawale David says, tell us. Nicholas from Equatorial Guinea is here. Leke from Lagos is here. I like that rhyme. Leke from Lagos. Okay. Maxwell is also from Lagos, and April is watching from Oregon in the United States. Linda is watching from Ghana. Bliss is watching from Cameroon. Florence Shaw, Nigeria. Paul from UK. David Olawale joining from Uyo in Nigeria. John Ibodema is joining from Canada. All right. And BJ Heaven says, tell you. All right. Let me tell you, because this might even be just the only thing you need tonight. Because if you don't know the root of the problem and the root of struggle, you will struggle forever. But if you know the root of the problems, then you can deal with it. So, the number 1 cause of financial struggle, as I say it, put it in the comment section. This is universal, worldwide. There are only 3 root causes. Number 1 is you don't earn enough money. Think about it. That's actually where most financial problems begin, because you don't earn enough. You don't have good income. You don't have consistent income. You don't have unlimited income. And in the Financial Fitness Challenge, I teach that there are 4 qualities. Let me attempt to remember those four qualities of income that we strive for in financial fitness. That income should be unlimited. Unlimited is not necessarily talking about you have to make millions. Unlimited just means that you are not in a situation where another person determines how much you can earn. Another person caps it, whether it's a company, a 9-to-5, a boss or something, a spouse. You're not in a situation or the economy caps what you should earn. You should be able to print money anytime that there is a need. You should be able to create an offer to pay for it. So that income should be unlimited. Second is the kind of income, financial fitness income, that you should be looking for is multi-source income. In other words, that you have income that comes from multi-sources. Because if your income comes only from one source, that is a very dangerous existence. That's a very dangerous existence. You know, in my village, they say that if all you can do to feed your family is fish, what will you do in the dry season when the water dries up? Oh my goodness, don't you think that we are dropping some deep African wisdom here? That's also universal, whether you're joining us from Asia or North America. So your income, the financial fitness income, that's what we teach in the Financial Fitness Challenge, should be multi-source. Number 3, that kind of income should also be consistent. We've talked about unlimited. In other words, you shouldn't have a cap. You shouldn't be in a situation where somebody fixes your salary, fixes your earning. For a lot of people, they've worked for 30 years. They've never had control of what they earn. It was always whatever the HR gave them, and then they cap it. That's not a good income. Not a high quality income. So number 3, it should be consistent. I teach everyday money system. My mentor dropped that concept in 2017. Is 2017? 2017 or 2015. Yeah, 2015, because 2017, I was spending more time in Ghana, working with Stanford University. Now, he dropped that concept of everyday money. Then he hit me. Wait a minute. I spend money every day. Why don't I earn money every day? And then I started asking myself, who made the law that I should earn money only once in a month? In 1 year, I have over 1,000 debit alerts, 2,000 debit alerts, and then only 12 credits. Who made that law? Don't you think that it was a scam? Who says that we can't earn money every day? So it's got to be unlimited, it's got to be multi-source, and it's got to be consistent. It's got to be every day. I think there's one more. If you're in the financial fitness challenge, you can mention it. So the first reason, the first root cause of poverty and financial struggle is not enough. And it's not enough because your income is not unlimited, your income is not multi-source, your income is not consistent. Is that helping somebody? Is that helping somebody? I want some interaction. Just type yes, because yes, it's quiet in this room. Let me see. Michael says, the what you carefully choose and deploy your terminology is inspiring to me from Namibia. Okay. All right. The way I frame it is inspiring to you. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay. Yes. Simon says yes. Patricia Obi says yes. That getting value is helping somebody. All right. Good. I'm happy to know that. So the second root cause of financial struggle in our lives is financial illiteracy. Many of us are literate in academics, but we are not literate financially. And so you come out with all these fantastic degrees, you even have a PhD, you have masters, and then you can't function. You're struggling financially with PhD. Do you know how many PhDs go to bed hungry? Do you know how many PhDs are going around begging for employment? And yet you are called doctor of philosophy. And you are hungry. Why? Because money doesn't require, it's not going to school that makes you money. It's selling. It's not school that gives you money. It's selling that gives you money. So whatever you are, if you can't sell, you're going to die of poverty. You sell ideas, you sell products, you sell services, you sell influence. There must be some kind of selling. And so if you're ashamed to sell, you're going to die of hunger. So a lot of people are financially illiterate. So as a financially illiterate person, you don't understand the language of finance. There's some of you watching this who don't even know what stock is, who have only been hearing about stock market, but they have no idea what stocks. There's some of you who have never heard about the financial market. You've never heard about bond, you've never heard about ETFs, you've never heard about, all those languages. And yet, finance is the language of business. Finance is the language of money. If you need to make money, you don't need to go to University of Mathematics. You go to University of Money. Because money has its own language. Money has its own system, its own language. It has its own principles, like the one I'm going to share with you tonight, 7 of them. It has its own university. And it has nothing to do with the university that you attended. So you still need to go to the University of Money, understand the financial terminologies, understand the language of finance. What is cash flow? What is investment? What is budgeting? Simple things like that. What is budgeting? What is managing money? Simple things. It's not even very complicated. What does 10% freedom fund mean? Simple things. Now, the third reason why people struggle financially is what I call soul poverty. I came by this in very surprising ways because there is a spiritual writer of over 2,000 years ago. That's actually when this guy was not even educated, but he was deeply spiritual. He was extremely wise. He knew a lot. And he didn't get it from the normal education. This guy said, And I quote him. He said, "Beloved," he was writing a letter. And he said, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even," and that is where the magic happens. He said, "even as your soul prospers." I just give you a truth bump. I just give you a truth bump. A lot of people are not doing well financially because their souls are not prospering. And so, a lot of people also are unhealthy because their souls are not healthy. This is why peace is so important. Joy, love is important. Because many people around the world do not know that bitterness, anger, envy, all those things destroy your finance, destroy your prosperity. Because if you're harboring bitterness in your heart, you can't prosper. Remember, he said, "I wish above all things." God actually wants us to prosper and be in good health. He actually wants it. But he says it is to the proportion, to the degree that your soul prospers. And how does your soul prosper? So it's not just in character, in identity, living, that correct identity, godly identity. It's not just in behavior. It's also in enriching your mindset. Because your mind is a part of your soul. Your will is a part of your soul. So when you are not mastering your will, for instance, addiction can destroy whatever money you've ever made for 50 years. One addiction can waste it within weeks. Because when you are addicted to something, maybe to a substance, or you are addicted to women or things like that, or addicted to alcohol, anything addiction erodes your will, and your will is part of your soul. The same with your intellect. So if your will is not prospering, if your mind is not prospering, if your intellect is not prospering, if your conscience is not prospering, because your conscience is seared with hot iron, you have no conscience. Look at the gentleman who called himself a prophet. In fact, there are so many of them in Africa. And they're using human beings, doing human sacrifice, sacrificing babies and things like that. And then they'll come out and say that they are wealthy. No. Those guys, their souls are not prospering. And also, when you dabble into the occult, because there's so much dabbling into occult and dabbling into all kinds of things, spiritism, that you should have no business with, and joining all kinds of secret societies and all that because you want to make money, your soul is not prospering. You can make that money. The secret cults and then all those, demonisms and whatever, spiritisms, maybe they can give you money and give you fame. But at what cost? At what cost? And then there are some, it's funny, but there's a lifestyle that if you want to become a billionaire or you want to win Grammy Award or something, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a lifestyle that if you just say yes to that lifestyle and you join that club, you win Grammy, you will become very popular overnight, you will make, but at what cost? Some of you are watching, and I don't want to mention it, but some of you are watching the proceedings in court with one guy, who caused so much evil, yet was such a very, very powerful figure in Hollywood. And so if you join them at the cost of your soul, you can make that money. But then there's a question that Christ asked, 2,000 years ago, that many people haven't answered. What shall it profit a man or woman if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? And then he followed it up with, what can a man or woman give in exchange to his or her soul? Money? Worth your soul? Then you don't know what soul is. So you've got to pay attention to the prosperity of your soul. Your heart, your mind, your intellect, your conscience, your will. You've got to pay attention to those things. Don't go shortcutting by joining a particular lifestyle. Some of you even join a particular religion or something because they give you money if you join them. But you don't know what you're doing to your soul. It's not worth it. At the end of it, as you're taking your last breath, you will regret it. You will know that it was not worth it. So those are the 3 root causes of financial struggle. You're not earning enough money. Money is not flowing into your life. Could be that you don't have income skills or high income skills and all that. So it's a problem already. You will struggle. I mean, if you don't have money flow, it's called currency. If you don't have money flowing, if you don't have the currency flowing into your life, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. And then number 2 is financial illiteracy. This is why I'm doing this free. Organizations pay me, and then executives, because I'm a certified executive coach. They pay me free. I have one-on-one people where I make my money. People I'm coaching. And then 1 hour, a session of 90 minutes, one-on-one, starts from $500. See, but I'm doing this every day, every weekday. I'm coming here, to teach this so that you can understand. That's not just about going out there, running around, trying to make money. You've got to understand there are root causes and there are pillars that you must obey. All right? Okay, so let me see. All right. Echoes of Ibejuleki says, yeah, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Thank you, Echoes of Ibeju. Thank you, Daniel. Tushiaki says, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you too, for appreciating value. All right. Okay, great. So now, if you're stuck behind on bills, earning and not thriving, this is for you. These are not fancy theories. The 7 pillars I'm about to give you. They are practical, life-giving truths that rewired how I see and how I use and how I build money. Three verbs. How I see, because how you see determines how you use, and how you use determines how you build. So I'm giving you these 7 pillars to do the same thing that he did for me. To rewire how you see money, to rewire how you use money, and to rewire how you build money. Please type those 3 verbs. See, use, build. Everybody, type it in the comment section. Remember, this is a coaching session. It's some bit of teaching and it's coaching. So for people who, when they watch this later, they say, oh, go straight to the point. You are repeating yourself and things like that. No, I'm not repeating myself. It's very deliberate. It's very deliberate because I want participation. And then every good teacher and a good lecturer, like I know that many times a particular concept has to be emphasized 8 to 12 times before it actually begins to catch on. So what I desire for you is for you to change, to rewire the way you see money, because the way you see money is everything. The way you see money is totally everything. And then the way you use it, and then the way you build it. Okay, very good. So 7 pillars. Number 1, as I'm saying it, type it. These are the 7 pillars that an angel taught me that changed my finances forever from my mid-40s. And so if you're whether you're 30, in your 30s, good enough. I mean, if you're in your 20s, good for you, because you don't have to wait for 40 years to learn what I'm about to teach you. So number 1, abundance is your birthright. Type it, number 1, so that people who are joining later can read and just get it. So number 1, abundance is your birthright. Okay, so I used to think that because of the religious tradition I was brought up with, I used to think that lack, that poverty was a sign of spirituality. It's a lie. It's a lie. And I remember I was fascinated, by the Roman Catholic orders, because I read a lot of history, and I read a lot about the Roman Catholic history, and I liked many Catholic figures like Francis of Assisi. I read about him. Then I read about Augustine. Then, of course, I read about Martin Luther. I really enjoyed him a lot, and a couple of other histories around that. So, and then I read about the monks. So I was fascinated as a young person. And then I don't know which order. There's an order that takes a vow of poverty. So as a little child, that vow of poverty thing, and then celibacy vow in the Catholic tradition attracted, I don't know, for some reason it was so attractive to me. I found it fanciful. And I began to think, then the other thing that wasn't it was in the tradition that I grew up in, every Sunday, to me as a child now, just in the 70s, I remember it may have just been once in a while, but it looks to me like something emphasized every Sunday. And they will use the story of the rich man and Lazarus to justify that. And as a little boy, I was made to believe that rich people went straight to hell. The ticket to hell was having money. And then poor people went to heaven. That heaven was made for poor people, and then hell was made for rich people. Let me see if I'm alone. Tell me, did you have that same experience growing up? Tell me, and then tell me what country. Let me just do some experiment to see if it only happened in my village. Did you have that experience where you were growing up and you were taught, just say, maybe we just say yes or something. I'm trying, type the number 2 so that we can distinguish it from the other yeses. Type the number 2. If you had that experience, just look. Oh, okay. Just type 2 and then type your country. Type 2 and type your country. Look at Germany. Yes, somebody had it in Germany. Look at Nigeria. Which other countries here? Yeah. And then, look at 2 everywhere. And then people say, I had that experience. And somebody says 2, Kenya. Ghana. Caribbean. Yeah. All over the world. We were lied to. And then this is another 2 in Oman. All over the world. This is another 2. USA. This is another 2. India. All over the world. We were made to think that the criteria for going to heaven was poverty. And as a little boy, I didn't want to go to hell. So I befriended poverty and lack. And that thing psychologically affected me, because when I started working in the oil industry, earning a lot of money, those of you from around here who know about working in Shell in those days, you know what I'm talking about. Shell, it was the ultimate thing. Yet, I never kept money. I never converted those, the active income to passive, because I didn't know. And it was like something was subconsciously sabotaging me. Every time I have money, and because I don't want to go to hell, I just made sure that somehow the money went without even knowing what I was doing. But it's a big lie. It's a big lie. You'll find more poor people in hell than in heaven. Have you seen poor people? Have you seen the bitterness, the quarrel, the envy, the immorality among the poor? They riot and then they come to your business. You've not done anything to them. They just wake up one day and then riot. And you see poor people breaking the businesses of hardworking people like yourself. You don't have any hand in whatever they are suffering. And they come in there, carry your goods, urinate in your stores, do all kinds of things. Does that sound like heaven to you? And poor people tend to love money more than the wealthy people. Why? See the way they wake up every morning, going for it, and they will do anything to get money. They will do everything to get money. They worship mammon. So the criteria for going to heaven is not whether you are rich or poor. The criteria is, have you accepted? Have you accepted what was done for you? It's not your works. It's not going to be your works or your own effort. It's on the sacrifice of someone that you just need to say yes to. That's all. All right. So abundance is your birthright. And you've got to come to a point that you rewire yourself to think abundance. You look at nature. It's so abundant. A woman, in the course of her life, a girl child, is born with 3 million eggs. And by the time she's reached puberty, she's having about 300,000. Forgive my use of the word, but isn't God insanely, like, what's the word? In fact, the word I use for it is reckless abundance. God is reckless when it comes to abundance. Recklessly abundant. This woman may never have a child, because there are so many women in this modern generation who don't want to have anything to do, don't want to have a baby. And it's becoming a concerning problem in many parts of the developing world. They actually, in some places, they are paying women to have babies. But then, God did not say, all right, I know that she will not want to have a baby, let me not give her eggs. But a girl child is born, I think it's 2 or 3 million eggs. Reckless abundance. When God knew that only 2 eggs or 3 eggs will be used by that woman to have 3 babies. Reckless abundance. Look up the night sky and see stars you can't count. And I'm told that there are at least over 100 billion galaxies, and that the universe, the physicists tell us, the universe keeps expanding every day, faster than the speed of light. Reckless abundance. Do you know not just the number of stars? Do you know the sizes of the stars? Like our own stars. There are stars that are 1,000 times bigger than our own stars. And the distance between us here and our star and our sun is over 160 million kilometers. So by the time the light arrives where you are, that light has traveled. You know, for the physicists in our, I don't have my numbers, but the light you're seeing has traveled like 8 minutes at the speed of light to reach you. 200 billion galaxies. And then our own galaxy, the Milky Way, from one edge of the galaxy to the other, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of light years. A light year is the distance that light travels in 365 days. And then you are there complaining, oh, I can't earn $2. No human being, none of us, has any right to complain about poverty or lack. Come to your body. Look at you as a human being. Go to your brain alone. I don't know how many trillion brain cells you have. How many hundreds of billions of brain cells you have, each of them wanting to work for you. But you instruct it and say, there's no abundance, we are poor here. Nobody has any reason to be abundant. Your blood vessels in your body, if your blood vessels are stretched end to end, it is 120 kilometers. That's what you are carrying in your body. And you are poor. And you are poor. And you can't even sit down to wonder at the miracle that is happening in your, is it the number of times your heart has beaten since you were conceived? Your heart started beating in the womb. It wasn't when you were born. Is it what's going on, all the chemical reactions, millions of chemical reactions going on in your body right now as you sit there that you have no idea about? Your body is manufacturing pharmacy. You are a marvel, fearfully and wonderfully made. So, abundance is your birthright. But it's a system that lied to you and me. And then we think that it's normal to be poverty, as to be poor. Okay? So, that is number one pillar. Because if you don't believe that, if you don't understand that, you can't even go anywhere else. You can't even progress from there. Because if you don't believe that there's abundance and that's your birthright, you'll be there complaining, oh, I was born in St. Lucia. If I wish I was born in California. Oh, I was born in Kenya. I was born in one village in Cameroon. I wish I was born in Paris. Then I'll be. Who told you? Abundance is your birthright. So when I embraced that truth, ladies and gentlemen, I stopped settling. I stopped settling. And I stopped feeling guilty for creating wealth, which is what the system, that religious system made you feel. You know, and then you see, when those colonies came here, they will tell you, you know, they will glorify poverty. But they themselves, they are packing your diamonds and your whatever. They will ride well, but they tell you that your own gift is in heaven. There's some stupid songs that they used to sing in those days. You know, something about my shoe. You have shoe. I don't have shoe, but my shoe is in heaven. All kinds of stupid things. No. Here, there's abundance for a reason. So that's pillar number one. All right. What did John say? Not necessarily. They did not understand better, because many pastors expect tithes and offerings. So if they know better, they would have taught better. All right. This my arm says abundance is my essence. Abundance is my nature. Abundance is who I am. I like that. You've got to make that declaration. Pillar number two. Tell the truth. Then rewrite your story. What do I mean? Stop lying to yourself. You are not as rich as you're making people believe in social media. Many people are just flexing. Tell yourself the truth. Because the foundation of every transformation, if you have to transform from state A to state B, you must start from telling the truth of who you are. The prodigal son said, I must arise. Now listen, this is a terrible situation. How would I indeed, be in this place? My father is a king. He's very wealthy. And then here I am, eating with pigs, struggling with pigs for food. This is not right. This is my terrible situation. This is who I am. But I will arise, swallow my pride, and go to my father. So for many of us, we are not telling the truth. And because of it, we can't humble ourselves, because there's a lot of connection between building wealth and humility. The truly wealthy people are extremely humble. I am telling you, I have met them. I've told you several times how I've been in the same room. Is it 2 or 3 times with Aliko Dangote? And I don't want to mention the last one. Last one time that we were together, it just happened a couple of months ago. And it was really a very sad situation. And we were there. So my wife and I were sitting here, and Aliko Dangote was sitting across in that place. And nobody knew. If you could come, he just there sitting, quite extremely humble guy. Sitting there, was not making noise. It's not like these people who have little money, just see little cash, and then they come to social media. The world can't hear again. They show us how wealthy they are. Carry euro here, carry pound sterling, carry dollars here, and then they are spraying the money, and then poor people are rushing to pick it like chicken, rushing to pick maize, and then they are feeling good, and then they are praising them. That's not wealth. Dangote, extremely humble. Then another billionaire guy who mentored me in the early 2000s. I was shocked the day he invited me to his office, because I kept wanting to have an audience with him, but I want him to teach me. I wanted to be financially free. And so he invited me. I was shocked. I don't want to give too much details so that I don't do name dropping, but his office was in Victoria Island. So I drove from my office in Chevron at that time to go see him in the afternoon. When I got to his office, this man, this guy, and Dangote would do the same thing, stood up. Stood up. I entered his office. He stood up in my honor to greet me. I was shocked. This is a guy you read about. You see the pages of newspaper everywhere. He's very well known in Africa, well known in the UK, where he is rich, like properly rich, not this kind of social media rich. I was shocked. I wasn't expecting a billionaire to stand up in my honor to greet me, but he did. Then he now instructed a secretary and said, I am with Obo for the next 30 minutes, no calls, no visits. Wow! When I finished meeting with him, he stood up, led me to the lift, opened the lift, entered with me, and went down to the car park, shook hands with me. Billionaire. Really, billionaires are humble. If you've ever met a billionaire, you can confirm what I'm telling you. I'm not talking about all these people, who are making noise on social media and showing us pictures of. If you've met a real billionaire, they are very quiet, and you never know. Very quiet, and they enter here, you will not know them, and they are not loud. But it's just we now who don't have anything. We make too much noise. So tell the truth so that you can start with humility of your financial situation. Then rewrite it. So real change begins the moment you get radically honest. So the key word is radically honest about this is where I am. It's not pretty, but it is real. You've got to tell yourself. You've got to tell yourself, what is your net worth? You are 50 and your net worth is not up to, the asset you have is not up to $7,000. That's not pretty. But you've got to tell yourself the truth. This is terrible. And I cannot continue to pretend. Because if you continue to pretend and flex, it will force you to become poorer. Because you will continue to buy clothes, buy cars that you can't afford to impress people. But the day you tell yourself the truth, that car you want to buy next month, you won't buy it. Because you can't say, look at me, I'm 47 or I'm 54 and I want to buy a car, but I don't have even one stock. So that is pillar number 2. These things are called pillars because when you have them, you can build very solid generational wealth. If you don't have them, you're wasting your time. Okay, so truth is the first step to transformation, to transforming your finances. Truth. It always starts with truth. You shall know the truth. You shall acknowledge it. And then what shall it do? It will make you free. It also applies to financial freedom. So there's no financial freedom without financial truth. That's worth typing. That's worth putting down. There's no financial freedom without financial truth. So every financial freedom begins with financial truth, telling yourself the truth about your condition. Pillar number 3. Make money serve you. So type it. Make money serve you. See, I worked hard for money until I realized that money could work harder for me. And I want to give Robert Kiyosaki that credit. Because that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, was one of the books that set me free. In my 40s, it opened my eyes. And I have been living by this pillar. Every single money that comes into my hand now, I see it as my employer. As my employee. I tell the money where to go. I tell it where to go and work. And the good thing is that money is faithful. It will work. It doesn't get tired. It will work when you're sleeping. It will work when you are traveling. It will work when you're on vacation. It will work when you're working. Money can work better for you than you can work for it. So it's a pillar to make money serve you. You are the master. Money is the tool. Never reverse it. Never let money become the master and you become the tool, because money can be a vicious master. If you make it your master, it will be a vicious master and it will destroy you. So let your money wake up early, work late, and never call in sick. Your money never calls in sick. Never says, oh, I'm tired today, or I'm sick, I'm having headache, I can't work today. It works every day. So it's a pillar for financial freedom. Pillar number 4, build a wealth machine, not money moments. So I used to chase random paydays, say, okay, there's this, especially after I quit, or there's this opportunity here, I joined literally all the major MLMs that I had. But if you want to make money, you need to create systems. You need to stop building businesses and start building systems. The reason that many people over 40 will never retire is that they don't have systems. Everything is just random. Wealth hates randomness. Money hates chaos. Create a system and you will amaze yourself in a very short period of time. Number 5, pillar number 5, that an angel taught me. Follow the 4 P's. The 4P path to prosperity. 4 P's. I'm going to give you those 4 P's. The first P is purpose. Wealth without purpose is dangerous, and purpose without wealth does not happen. You can't fulfill it. So there's always a purpose, for wealth, and you need to define that. Define who you are. Define purpose. Define what money means to you before you even start chasing money. So the second P stands for plan. You've got to have a plan. All right, this is where you've told yourself the truth. This is where you are today. At 50, you have no single portfolio. You have no single stock or even real estate to your name. At 50, that's the truth. Next thing is, okay, what's the plan? You tell yourself in the next 10 years, how are you going to go from this, your current reality, to financial freedom in 10 years? That's where you're going to need a plan. You're going to need a plan. The third P is process. So it's not enough having a plan. You've got to have a process. You've got to have your daily routines and habits that will take you there. You've got to have systems. You've got to have procedures. You've got to have discipline. If you have it, at 50, if you give yourself 10 years of discipline, of process, of following your system, fine-tuning it, you will shock yourself by the time you're 60. And I mentioned 10 years because the last P is patience. Patience must finish its assignment in your life if you have to be wealthy. All the billionaires that you're hearing about today, they didn't do it in one day. It took the billionaires average of 30 to 35 years to become billionaires. Whether you're talking about Bill Gates, you're talking about Richard Branson, or you're talking about even Elon Musk, or you're talking about whoever, mention them. Go and read their biographies. It took time. It took patience. And then patience is patience is a strategy for wealth. And that's why some people can't even invest today. Like I recommended some penny stocks at some point. And I said, you buy this if you are looking to the next 3 to 5 years, and you can hold. Some people can buy and hold for 5 years. And then once they buy and then the thing drops a little, they panic and then they go sell it off. But some people who bought some of these stocks, they had stocks in 2019, and then many of these stocks plummeted. Like one that went to 10,000, and then a friend said he bought 1 million. Sorry, 10 naira, and a friend said he bought 1 million. And then 5 years later, the 10 naira stock became 900 and something. So if you invested 10 million in 2005, in 5 years, it's 900 million. Patience pays. Oh, I like that. Patience pays. Okay. Pillar number 6. Learn at least one thing about money every day. Why? Because money is not in the market primarily. Money is primarily in your mind. You cannot make more money than your consciousness. You can type it. You can't make more money than the content of your consciousness, than what you are aware of. So you want to learn something about money every day. Money is a language. In my case, I was financially illiterate. And so it was not the lack of money that frustrated me financially. It was my illiteracy about money. So there was a time, and I still do it today, that it was the time I started. In fact, even before my financial whatever, but I doubled it. There was a time that if I don't read 2 to 3 hours a day, I told myself that I would fall sick. And so that was how all these books were accumulated. I want to learn every day, learn something, one thing every day. Sometimes I don't read the books cover to cover. And then my guests or my hosts in the United States know that every time, most of these were bought in the US, they know that every time I land, first thing I do, go online, check nearest used bookstores near me. 95% of these books were bought in used bookstores. And then maybe the other 5% at the airport. So I'm at the airport, like in JFK, and then I have like 2 hours. So I walk around and I go to those bookstores and I look at some really fantastic books. Like there's one here about selling boldly. I bought it at JFK. Quite a couple of them. Read, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, spend time in this channel. There's so much information on my channel that you haven't even gone through. All right, so learn something every day about money, specifically about money, not about your academics, because how far has that gotten you? But learn something about money every day, one thing a day. Small steps compound. Knowledge builds confidence, and confidence builds wealth. One of the things that you'll find when you start learning about money, learning one thing every single day, is that your conversations will become richer. Your sense of opportunity will increase, and you will find that you can have better conversations where people are talking about money or talking about investment. But sometimes you're in a place, people are talking about investment, ETF, and then they say, they talk about ETF, they talk about mutual funds. You're totally lost. Treasury bills. You're lost in their midst. You are an illiterate. You are hearing this and you don't know. So go find out, what are ETFs? What are bonds? What are mutual funds? What are stocks? What's dividend? What is capital appreciation? Learn the language every day. You communicate better, you become more confident, and then you become much more wealthy. Pillar number 7. And this is going to surprise many of you, like it surprised me, but wealth is a team sport. That's pillar number 7. Wealth is a team sport. I discovered that there's a level you will get to in your income. You can earn certain amount of money just alone as an island. But there's a level of income and wealth you can never get to being an island. So you need a mastermind. You need to be in community where people are talking about that. Like for some of you in the Financial Fitness Challenge, you see the kind of conversations. If you go there, if you went there yesterday, by the time you go to that group today, you would have seen like 200, 300 conversations. Very high quality conversations. People are telling you what they bought in the stock market, how much they bought it. People are telling you where opportunities are. People are solving problems for one another. People are helping other people to open stockbroking accounts, to buy their first stocks. If you're in the Financial Fitness Challenge group, just confirm what I'm telling you. Just confirm it in the comment section for people to know. So it's a team sport. And then there are people who, just because they are part of the Financial Fitness Challenge, they are part of that group. It's not even because of me. But because of that community, there are people who, because they are there, they have done things that they could never have done in the next 5 years. because they heard it, they learned about it, and then they saw people doing it, and then they did it. There are people there who are in their 50s who just bought the stock, bought shares in the stock market for the first time in their lives because they are in a community that encourages that. If you're poor, you shouldn't be communing with fellow poor people. Somebody once claimed that your current income is the average of all the incomes of your 5 closest acquaintances, 5 people closest to you. If you look at your income, it's an average of the kind of people you follow. So that's why I go for billionaires. I have very, very wealthy friends whom I love and respect very much. And I call them up and then we talk. Sometimes we have a meeting that we call Mastermind. Then 7 of us come together. And then we say, okay, look at the world today. What are the opportunities? See, then we talk, somebody will talk about AI, who knows about AI. Another person who knows about investing in stocks will talk about that. Another person who knows about arbitrage, about Amazon, about YouTube content, or whatever. Do you know, Mastermind, do you know how valuable that can be? So you can meet with these people. We meet over lunch or over breakfast and all that. And then after 2-3 hours of masterminding, gosh, you become out of that place with strategy, with wealth. But when you are there watching television, going to a bar to drink with all those people, you drink beer, 5, 7, 6, 8 bottles of beer a night, talking about football and soccer, discussing Ukraine and Russia, discussing Hollywood celebrities and Nollywood celebrities and all that stupid thing. And then at the end of it, you go back drunk and poor. But when you are in the community where you are learning these sort of things that you are hearing tonight, and then people are discussing opportunities and people are telling you, oh, go there right now. There's something going on now. There's something about AI. This is the time. Key in now, because by the next 5 years, you'll be late. And you go back, you are enriched. Your mind is, sort of big with ideas. And then your actions become better. So wealth is a team sport. Wealth multiplies faster in community. Wealth multiplies faster in community. When I joined the tribe of people who dream, who build, and who share openly, everything changed. So I joined Dean Jackson's Mastermind. So we traveled to Celebration in Florida from different places. And it's incredible. And then when you have that kind of mastermind, people from around the world, you hear perspective, you hear things that you never have heard, even being in your country. By having a Canadian, we had somebody from Belgium, we have several Canadians, we had many Americans who came from different states and other, just few of us sitting around the table with Dean Jackson. My goodness, it was incredible, So everything changed for me when I started joining such masterminds. I'm paying for coaching. I paid Billie Jean's marketing, who is based in San Diego. I attended Lisa Sasevich's program in San Diego as well. She's she used to be called the Queen of Sales or something. I paid Jennifer Deep Stratton $500 a session for 8 sessions to teach me how to communicate my value. That was all she taught me. That was $4,000. I paid Sonny Lenarduzzi. I paid $4,600 to Sonny Lenarduzzi to join her YouTube Accelerator program. Plus a lot of other investments. I can't even think. I paid internet marketing company nearly $20,000 for mentorship for 2 years. They compound. So when I have $20,000, $30,000 months, it's not by accident. These things have compounded over time. And I have a community. I always reach out to, hey, this is the situation. All right, I need some ideas around my sales funnel on how to actually help more people that I'm helping. Do you imagine just how amazing it is to be part of that kind of community? So those are the 7 pillars. They are not just concepts, they are habits, they are mindsets, they are anchors. I built them from failure, from frustration, and finally, freedom. If you apply even one of the pillars today, it could change the trajectory of your entire financial future. And since I talked about being in a wealth community, why don't I just offer you the opportunity to join the Financial Fitness Challenge? Because that's exactly what happens there. It's a community of wealth. I'm telling you, many people are getting more from the people in the group than even from me. Sometimes I don't show up there, for days. And then by the time I go there, I see 600 conversations, very amazing, high-quality conversations going on there. And people are learning from each other. We have people from different parts of the world in the Financial Fitness Challenge, that mentorship group. We have somebody that joins from Hong Kong. We have 2 or 3 people from Australia. We have a number of people, quite a number of people from UAE. We have a multitude from the UK. We have a sizable audience from the United States. We have people from Cameroon, from Nigeria, from Ghana. Then there's somebody joining from Swaziland. All kinds of unimaginable places. Somebody from Sudan. Then somebody who approached me from Somalia, looking for how to be able to pay. What a community. If there's a place you should be, that's it. For just a pittance, what you pay for 1 or 2 lunches. Like if you miss 2 lunches in the month, just 2, you miss lunch on Monday, miss lunch on Friday, and you pay for Financial Fitness Challenge. The amount, the standard fee is 125,000 Nigerian naira. If you want to join tonight, as we're talking, you can take the early bird rate and just pay 105, so 20,000 naira off if you are joining right after this program. For non-naira people, it is 125 US dollars. If you are joining immediately after this, because we're enrolling for the next cohort right now. If you are joining immediately after this, you pay only $105. All you need to do, not too much talk, just send a message. Send me early bird payment details. That's all you need to type, and then send it to my WhatsApp number, +234 8088 000 111. Just send me early bird payment, +234 8088 000 111. Easy to remember, and then you'll be on your way. All right, so before we draw the curtain tonight, what were your aha moments today? Type it in the comment section. What were your aha moments? John says, people of all ages, educational attainment, background, experience, very useful. Absolutely. All right. And then Sandra Fu is joining us from Guyana in South America. Tani Fumbli says, sir, you're a blessing to this generation. Thank you so much. I'm humbled. Thank you. Sherry says, you are learning a foreign man's game, create African stock mastermind system. Alrighty. Thank you for that. John says, wealth multiplies faster in community. Absolutely. Mugisha says, much love from Rwanda. Absolutely. Okay. It is a great community that supports one another. Absolutely. So talking about the Financial Fitness Challenge. Yadward says, greetings from Sweden. Well done. All right. Mugisha says, aha moment is make money serve you. Okay. And John says, my aha moment today is wealth is a team sport. Absolutely. Even if the only team you start with is the team of you and your wife. All right. Boyega Maria says, read about money daily. All right. Very good. Okay. Ruth Isaac says, learn about money daily. That's your aha moment. Fantastic. Kibe says, let your money work for you. Fantastic. Very good. McSharon's Limited said, oh, keep doing it for us. Okay, my pleasure. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so if you are here and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. Do that right now. And if you have gotten value tonight, it makes sense that you should press the love button. You should press that love button. Okay, just do it right now. And then more importantly, it would be wonderful if you can share this video, share it to different platforms, because I think it helps the algorithm to know that this is useful and that more people can benefit from that. And whatever happens, this is a good place to draw the curtain. Keep showing up. You never know what's coming your way next. And I'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night and God bless you.